Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am going to give about a case study, a solution of oil spill on land. I think right now we have heard about oil spill problem on sea. So I am going to talk about solutions, not about much about problem, but I am going to talk about solution. So I think we know that globally there was the largest oil spill in Gulf in Kuwait in 1990s. That was the largest oil spill on land till now. In around 115 square kilometer area was under oil spill at that time. And Kuwait is a very small country. And Kuwait, almost 15% of land area was under oil spill. Kuwait is a very small country. So for them, it was a very precious land, and they were very helpless to what to do about this. So I'm going to tell about this, what is the solution of that oil spill. So we can see on the top corner that on the land how the oil spill occurred in the Kuwait. And around 700 oil wells were damaged, and there were so many oil lakes. The oil wells were damaged, and almost 1 year the wells were flowing. It was very difficult. They are high pressure wells, very difficult to control them. So there were so many oil lakes were created that time. So it was a major devastation. I think globally this was the largest devastation on oil spill on land till now. So as I explained you that around 700 oil wells and more than 114 square kilometer area was under oil spill, and there were so many oil lakes. And then what is the solution of that? So they wanted the solution of that. After this oil spill, aftermath of this oil spill, there was a sort of a requirement of technology that how we can do the cleanup of this oil spill. So what happened? That we were doing this bioremediation of oil spill in India from 1995. And we were doing bioremediation for large-scale applications. So we thought similar process will work in Kuwait also. Then we went there and we collected some contaminated soil sample and tested in the lab. And we could found that the Kuwait soil is different. The soil is highly saline soil. The salinity is more than seawater, whereas our Indian origin microbes, they were not able to survive in that high saline soil. And another problem was that Kuwait oil was highly waxy and heavy crude oil. So the Indian origin of microbes, they were not able to degrade this Kuwait type of crude oil. So it was difficult. So we really disappointed that it's not probably, we could not find a solution of that. Then in around 2000, we went again, and then we asked them that allow us to collect some samples so we can see whether any indigenous microbes present in there or not. So with the great difficulty, we were able to bring some sample and did all the investigation, and we found there are some variety of microbes. The population of microbes is not as much as we used to find in Indian soil, because the Kuwait soil is desert soil, very less nutrient and high temperature. In summer time, temperature will go more than 50 degrees Celsius, and in the oil spill soil, temperature will go up to 60 degrees because it's a black soil, so it will absorb more heat. So almost sterile soil, not much microbes, but we did a lot of effort, and then after 4 years of research work, we were able to find the indigenous microbes which were able to degrade the Kuwait crude oil, and they were able to degrade the complete oil, because initial small amount of oil degradation is not useful. So therefore we went again, we collected sample many times, and finally we selected 4 different species which can degrade a particular fraction of oil, and the end product should be carbon dioxide and water. That was our target. That is a complete degradation. The end product would be carbon dioxide and water. So like that, we selected these 4 different strains and make a cocktail out of this. And then we see whether they will be able to degrade this oil completely or not. So in the laboratory, we were able to see that, yes, they were able to degrade. So we see the labeled hydrocarbon, we label them with the C14 carbon and see whether we can able to get the C14 level carbon dioxide or water. Then there will be complete degradation. So like that, we did all these basic study, and then finally, we make a consortium or a cocktail of this bacteria, which name we gave KT Oilzapper. We filed the patent, and then we optimize all the conditions how to produce them in bulk, because here we need tons of these microbes to do for cleanup bioremediation process. So then we installed this production facility, how to produce this microbe in bulk, and then we did. So I'm going to tell about this study. So initially that the microbes that we selected 50 degree, so initially we culture them at 50 degree only. So the microbe which will able to survive 50 degree, they will survive, other will die. So microbes, like it's not easy to culture them in laboratory. Only 5% microbes we were able to culture in laboratory, remaining we don't know. It's like a domestication of microbes. Similarly, animals also, not more than 5% animals are domesticated. So we can't use them. So similarly here also, we have to see that how we can domesticate them, how to produce in laboratory, and see whether they will be able to degrade. So like that, all these basic studies were done. And so like that, these are the 4 major fractions. So individually we see that which bacteria will degrade which fractions, and then make a cocktail out of this. So all the consortium of 4 bacteria, they will degrade all 4 fractions. And there will not be competition. If same bacteria will degrade 2 fractions, then there will be competition, and then the efficiency will go down. So individually they will degrade particular fractions, so they can live together. There will be good synergy. They will not compete with each other. So like this consortium, their efficiency would be more because their requirement is different, so they can live together and degrade particular fractions. And here also the target was that complete degradation, so that was the target. After that, in laboratory they were doing very nice result. Then we went again in Kuwait and asked them to give us a small area, around a football ground area, so we can test in the laboratory, in the actual situation, whether they will be able to degrade there or not, before going the large scale. So we took around a football ground area and produced these bacteria here in laboratory, took them to Kuwait. This was the oil spill site. And they are in powder form, so we produce and convert into powder form. So these are the live bacteria. This powder contains live bacteria. 1 gram contains 10 to the power 10 bacteria. So we can see few kilogram of this powder contain more bacteria than total human population on earth. So like that, huge, large number of these bacteria mixed with this oil contaminated soil, applied some specific nutrient recipe, then they will do the job. And then we could see that these bacteria, they will degrade the oil and the site would be clean. So because in Kuwait soil, there are not much enough nutrients, so we apply a lot of nutrient. So their population will be able to maintain, otherwise they will die. So that we have to monitor every 15 days what is the population of these bacteria in soil. And so we spray a lot of nutrient in the site. And then we see what is the rate of degradation, the total petroleum hydrocarbon and different fractions. And we can see that in around 2 months or 2 months, we can see the level of contamination reduced below the permissible limit. Whereas in the control, still this oil contamination were there. So I think that was a really encouraging things, that whatever we have done in the laboratory, they were giving the result in the field condition also. And these are degradation of different fractions. So we did all this study and involved them also and their pollution control board. So all people, they have done this study. So we can see that after bioremediation, there was a restoration of biodiversity in the oil spill site. These are the native animals and this thing. So we can see how the biodiversity is restored after bioremediation work. So all this study was done. It was very encouraging, and then we got the completion certificate of this demonstration. After that, this was a small, but after that there was another requirement. They said we have to demonstrate in a bigger area, around a kilometer by kilometer area. So then again, they called the global requirement, and with the global competition, We got, then they selected 3 party, one Spain company and Korean, and we were there. And they gave the 3 identical 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer, and they see that who will do this job. And they said, whatever technology you want to use, but we want to see the end result in environment-friendly manner. So, but we have to use more than one technology. That was the demand. So this contract was signed that time with the global competition. And there was a lot of scope in this. In 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer, there was around 6 oil lakes and so many unexploded bumps. So first of all, the first activity was that we have to remove the unexploded bumps from this site. That was the biggest challenge for us. And how to remove the unexploded bump from the oil lakes? We can't go inside lake 2 meter deep or 3 meter in the thick oil. So that was the big task. So we took this Indian Army, ex-Army, there is a company, they do this demining work. We took them and then we remove all the unexploded bumps. We remove around 2,000 unexploded bumps from that site. After that, we started the remediation work. So in short, there was a lot of scope, and this project was monitored by a PMC project monitoring consultant. They will always remain there. They will monitor how we are doing, whether we are following the SOP or not. So all these things they did. So we installed the site office, satellite office. It was a big task. We installed around 3 megawatt generator in the field, in the desert, where we worked. And there were oil lakes. The liquid oil was there. So this was the unexploded bump. This was the team. We engaged on more than 100 people to remove these bumps. And it took us around 15 months to remove all these unexploded bumps from the site. So this was the oil lake we can see. From these lakes, how to remove the unexploded, it was a very difficult task, very, very difficult task. Then only once we remove the bumps, then only they will allow to do this work. After that, we have to remove this liquid oil, process this liquid oil, give this liquid oil back to oil company, and then we do this soil, contaminated soil for bioremediation. There was a lot of groundwater monitoring in the site, whether this oil is going down. And so we installed around 14 piezometric bore wells for testing. And this machine we installed for this oil recovery. We bought this machine from US, around $5 million value of this machine. So this will process the liquid oil. And this liquid oil will be given back to oil company. And then these microbes that we did in a previous trial, we installed a factory here. So we can produce these microbes in bulk. In one night, we can produce 1 truckload. So that big size of bioreactor facility we created. So you can see the truck. And in a one air condition, so we used to send these microbes in powder form in a refrigerated container at 2 degrees Celsius. Otherwise, these microbes will die. And they will take around 27 days to reach Kuwait through ship. So all this facility was done. This was the facility that we have created, the bioreactor facility. These are the plants where we used to produce these microbes in powder form. Around 1 truckload, around 20 ton microbes per night we can produce. And so these are the refrigerated containers. 20 ton capacity, 40 feet containers. So this was the oil lake. So remove bumps from this, and then we can see the lake. It's very, very difficult. So remove all the oil portion, process this oil, given back to company, and then the soil, we have done the bioremediation. These are the live microbes which we produce here. We took to Kuwait and mixed with this contaminated soil, and then monitor what is the rate of degradation like that. With the sort, we can see the red line is a proposed plan, because we have to give the plan that how much time will take. If it will cross the plan, then there will be penalty. So in most of cases, we did before the plan. And after this restoration, site would be clean. You can see the left side that after bioremediation, and then we have done the plantation, restore the site. We did local plantation. The site would be clean. So I think it was a very amazing thing. And now there is a tender of $3 billion. to do the restoration of 114 square kilometer area. These oil company, they are using this, so I think I will stop here. This product got various competitive awards, government awards, not any. So this was a unique solution, that indigenous solution that we have developed. So I think I will stop here. If any
Thank you very
clarification-
much, Dr. Banwari Lal. Now, since he has to leave, I will open the house for the questions. And I'm sure few questions will be there for Dr. Banwari Lal.
Oil Spill India 2022 is dedicated to the Honorable Prime Minister's Swachh Bharat Abhiyan and Clean Seas.